events, where we had the lovely Chooms here, preparing for what happens this eve. Great plans to be had. So let's find out what's going on in their lives. Matt, why don't you start off with for us? Tell us what's going on in your world and all the wondrous things going on.
Alright, good to see everybody here. We're going to have Azrael a little bit later, as he has real life to manage. Yes, so he'll be here a bit later. But in the meantime, I have pretty much fully recovered from my sickness, which is nice. So that's good. Started to return to sort of semi kind of regular streams this week, but what I found is I have just been really tired, just like really tired, so those have been a little bit shorter. So we did a last Epoch stream on Friday night. That was good. I streamed The Room yesterday and got through, well, The Room 2. Got through The Room 2, which is a puzzle sort of game.
Nice.
Sort of escape room kind of thing, which was nice because the Lady Vengeance was otherwise indisposed. And care to her as she's got some family illnesses and things going on. Hopefully, that smooths over. But yes, some not so great things there. But yeah, I've been doing some stuff with that. My campaigns here at home they're ramping up, I say. Where my Monday group is just getting to the end of chapter 1 of the adventure that I'm running for them, and they've got a big boss that they're fighting this week. My Tuesday group are about halfway through chapter 2, and they've come across some things that they weren't expecting, and that's very exciting. Got some ramping up for them as they start to hit on some of the major plot points coming up for the rest of the adventure, where things start to get revealed and stuff like that. So they'll start to see some of the bigger picture that's been lying underneath this whole time, put things together and go, ooh, we've got some direction, and yeah, it's got crazy things. So that's going to be very exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah, so, and we're ramping up to do some more RPG things. I'm excited.
Woo-hoo.
Kind of that's my life right now as I'm on break. So, just making sure that everything's written, everything's organized, getting the ducks in the row,
Awesome.
Introducing more people to role-playing games or to specific settings or systems, and yeah.
Excellent. Well, awesome, man. Keep it up. You're doing great. And I picked on Lady, so you should make sure you do so as well. She was playing Diablo the other day instead of her normal spooky stuff or Warhammer stuff, and so I had to give her a little bit of grief.
A little bit of grief is probably
just
okay, but know that there is some significant illnesses in her family.
No, I know. She
so
we played Darktide Monday, and she kind of said some of it, not a lot, but a little.
Yeah, well, there's been degeneration since then.
Oof.
So
I made sure I put the reference that I'm joking about it after saying,
right.
"How could you be playing this? It's not Warhammer."
She understands.
Yeah. It's in a light-hearted manner to try to help the mood of things, right?
And that's helpful too. I'm sure. So yeah, she appreciates it.
Well, cool. Keep it up, man. dimension. You are on the edge of your seat, friend. What's happening?
Yes, waiting for the PC to get here. It's slated to be here Tuesday, as of right now. Well, I haven't checked in like 5 minutes, but as of 5 minutes ago, it was slated to be here Tuesday. So,
right.
Yeah, I'm anxiously awaiting. Since it shipped, it's been scheduled for Tuesday. Since it shipped Wednesday, and yet I've still checked UPS pretty much every chance I've gotten this, just to see, make sure it's not delayed, just to see if it's been updated and it's like, oh, hey, it's getting here, 5 days early or anything like that. So, but yeah, it's on its way. It should be here, like I said, Tuesday, and then I get to go through everything of trying to get it all set up, because I'm gonna be rebuilding for the most part all of my OBS scenes and my Stream Deck profiles and stuff, just because like I know how to do it better now, and the ones that I have are built like from me watching 30 YouTube videos and trying to make it work the best that I can figure out how. So now that I have some better insight, I'm going to try to rebuild said scenes and said profiles on Stream Deck and try to hopefully not only make them work better and more efficiently, but hopefully add some things to them that I've been wanting to do that I was just afraid the laptop can't handle. We got The Witcher 3 will be coming up real soon because the PC's coming in. That's gonna open up doors for some other things. I'm talking to Puppy and Blue Diamond Bin about doing some more collabs, because I've been doing Phasmophobia with them. We've talked about a couple of other games, and I'll be bringing Chat versus Streamer back on the channel eventually, after the PC's here, because we're gonna do some Long Dark Chat versus Streamer. I've already got channel points set up, so once the PC gets here and some other things get started and settle in, I've got to work on the actual like on stream alerts for said channel points, and then we'll be doing some Chat versus Streamer again.
Cool. Well, that's awesome, man. Excited for you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and it should improve our Middle Earth streams as well, because I get a lot of lag in my VODs, because like from audio to visual, our lips don't match up, because I have to set the video quality so low, and it's just taking so many resources from the laptop lately, that I'm hoping that, especially with the PC, that this is gonna correct, if not all of that, at least some of that, so that the VODs look a little more crisp and clean too.
And I mean, it'll at least improve it. Resolve it or not depends on what beefy of a machine you got, but it will be better than the laptop. There's no doubt.
Yeah. This is my first ever. I was thinking about this. This is my first ever brand new PC. Period. It's my first ever. I mean, it's my first ever gaming PC. It's my first ever streaming PC. It's my first ever brand new PC ever. The last PC I had was one of the PC that my mom used to use for business. She basically was like, I know you need a computer to store like files of like pictures and stuff like that on, so here's this old PC that's really slow that I don't use anymore. That's the last PC I had, and I think I used it 3 or 4 times to store some photos on, and then it's been laptops forever.
Wow. Congrats, man. It'll be good.
Yeah, this is about to be a whole new experience.
Whole new world for you. And as you mentioned, Matt, Azrael is supposed to be joining us shortly, but we'll have Blackstone. Haven't heard anything from Doc, but we know what's going on in his life, so we expect him to show up whenever he can show up, and that's who knows when. But I will say, give a quick shout out to the Forge. We appreciate them letting us use their hosting services for this game. It is awesome. It's been a great help to get Foundry hosted over there. If you guys need a place to host your Foundry, check them out. As for my streams, I've been doing mainly a lot of Miasma lately, other than the normal things. And that's been fun.
A lot.
Well, my schedule was very weird lately, so I filled it all in with Miasma. So...
What, 4 or 5 this week? Like, seems...
Oh, not quite. But close. I think it was 3. See, I am on episode 5, and so over the last 2 weeks, it's been 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. It's so good. If you guys played Mutant Year Zero, it's good. So I enjoyed Mutant Year Zero, and I thought about doing a playthrough on the stream. So when this one came out, I was like, saw it on sale for a little bit, and I was like, well, I know I'm gonna like it. It's newer. It's probably gonna help the channel, and so I went ahead and got it, and been playing it, and it's been fun.
Excellent.
They definitely amped up the difficulty from the other ones. So I've been working to find ways around the difficulty spike, but we're managing. We did something we weren't supposed to, and that made me feel pretty good about it. So you'll check out the recording for that. But without further ado, let's get in this. Find out what's going on with Zid and Seamus. So lastly, you guys had just gotten some key pivotal details that you really needed towards working your plan on getting out of the complex, getting out of the grip of Life Tech. Now I haven't finally got these details. We find you all in your room, pondering over them, working out your plans on how you're going to get out of here and how are you going to remain undetected by the investigators that you know are or will arrive in the investigation that's underway. Camera pans in and we see Zid and Seamus enjoying a box of noodles in preparation for the evening's work and rest to follow. What do we see you two doing other than enjoying your noodles?
Seamus is just like, for the millionth time, mumbling to himself all the plans that we put in place thus far. Just walking through every so often, every 20th time he runs through the plan, he stops at a different spot and asks Seamus or Blackstone or Doc, are you sure this is going to be a good idea? Are you sure we should do this? And I say this because it's just at like varying different points. It's just like the most random minute detail Seamus is trying to make sure that they're ready for. What if blah 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 happens.
Yeah. You guys learned a lot of info, but there's still a lot of unknowns, so it's legitimate. What if Seamus is doing that? What is Zid doing?
Zid has a refresher towel, and he's like folding it, a napkin kind of thing. He's folding it differently to how it normally is presented on the table. He's just fiddling with it, folding it in different ways. These towels are quite thin, you know, the very most basic of napkins, you know, not insulated. They're just like one piece of like of paper towel or whatever, and you know, he's just folding it in different ways. You see his lips moving, almost unconsciously. But there does seem to be. It seems to be like he's in some sort of like trance, maybe, as he sort of goes about these folding patterns. He's just zoned out. But he is saying something under his breath that possibly only the people right next to him would hear. He says, "Oh, frolicking, mischievous, tap dancing creator, one whose legs are spindly yet graceful, oh, Anansi, oh, Anansi. Let me weave a tale fit for your honor. Let me verbally enthrall my audience as you so trapped old Python. Oh, Anansi. Anansi." It's on for some time.
Is this something that you would pick up on being near him, Seamus, or would you be not aware of it as you're focused on yours?
Let me find out.
Nice.
What do we think? Perception or human perception? I'm not really sure what the... I guess human perception has to do with humans.
Mm-hmm.
I will do that. Seamus probably notices and just like, you know, it's really unsettling when you do that. Don't understand the thing you're saying, and I guess that explains a lot of why I was a bit concerned when you stopped acting like yourself. But perhaps it's just coping.
Zill'll come out of his trance and shake his head. What?
We're doomed. We're all gonna die. So we're not gonna make this.
What do you mean, Shemas? We have a good plan. Perhaps there are still some things we have to overcome, but we are making progress, no?
Some of us are. Others I'm not too sure about.
So,
No. Zed, if I didn't trust you, I wouldn't trust you.
That is how it goes.
I have a little thing that I'm going to put up for everyone to give a quick grasp on where things are at. Give me here, as I didn't have time to prepare this off the cuff thing. Where is the button? Button. Who has the button? And for our lovely viewers, our players have no idea what's going on.
I'm not scared.
Oh, you don't need to be. Is it doing that? No, that's not what I want. Ah, not quite right. I'm trying to get it to show it in the right area, and it's trying to show it in the wrong area.
Isn't that always the way?
Right? Because, you know, why not?
Why would technology actually cooperate?
Well, you know, you try to do something quick, and that's when it especially loves to give you bits. Because it can, and so it does. And you're left at its mercy. Alright, I think I got it here in just a moment. Found one of them. The right one. There we go. So let me resize it just a little bit as it is blocking your faces. But just to give you a sample of where things are at. It's not complete, but this is the current map that I have done. I zoomed in on Seamus's favorite place for everyone, because we all know what Seamus likes. It's not updating. Why is it not updating? Okay, that's weird. It's supposed to be capturing it, and it's not. It's showing just a still shot of it. Okay, well. But you can see a nice little place there of where Seamus likes to go and is very happy about. And let me get it to relook at where you guys are currently at during this chat. Is that going to show me correctly? I don't know, but whatever. At least it'll work. And this is where you guys are currently having this chat. Except apparently I left an extra door in your room. So, with the table.
It's the privacy curtain. We just close that and pretend like we have privacy.
Yeah, you know. So yeah, that's a little look of the room that you guys have been spending your time in. You look how massive it is for everyone to be in. Luxury suites, right? So, just to help put it in everyone's perspective.
I was just gonna say that luxury suites is not exactly the first thing that comes to mind, but
Oh, no.
if you say so.
No, it's pure sarcasm. I mean, you see there's literally a 5-foot, basically, you know, aisle down the center to the kibble dispenser. and then you have, you know, your immaculate bathroom that has enough room to stand in front of it and like rotate around. You have lockers that you have to store all your belongings in, and then you have your beds and a table and chairs, and that's it. Yeah, it's not meant to do more than the bare necessities for you.
I actually thought it was worse than this, so I'm pretty happy.
Well, I'm glad you're happy with your provisions, and the complex thanks you for your lifetime servitude.
Yes, I'm sure they do.
So, but I figured I'd share that with everyone. Quick little preview of what's been done. It's not complete because, yeah, there's a lot, and yeah, it takes a lot of time. But it lets everyone get a look at who you all are, kind of get a little idea of what it looks like. Not very immaculate. Like, I couldn't get a more like military cot style bed. I couldn't find one. So those beds and stuff are probably a bit nicer than they should be, but
it's fine. We get the idea.
It at least gives the basics idea of what it is.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So that table is where we find this little discussion happening.
So Zid will start like asking some directed questions of Seamus. He says, so this information that the blue terminal room does not in fact have real people in there like it would suggest, but instead just machines. Where does that leave you, Seamus? What do you think? Because they might think that anybody that's looking at that might assume that people live there and therefore don't pry. Do you think that they're going to be more relaxed about security because of their deception?
I think that it shows a bit of overconfidence, but it also shows almost an arrogance. They feel the need to lie and put up signs that show that there's a lot of protection there, but not the need to actually secure the protection. Now, the machines obviously are a problem, and we'll have to get around that, but that's what you're for. That's why we got you, Zid. I'm sure you can handle that. Normally, I'd be more comfortable with more people, as it's kind of my business procuring things from people, but it might be a blessing in disguise here if there's less actual people around there. I'm not sure I'd be of much use versus the people that would be there. I think we actually might have a better chance of subverting the machines than we do an army of life tech minds. Makes me wonder though, if that's the central mainframe or whatever it's called, if this overseer doesn't trust us meat sacks the way some of them think that it does.
Do you mean that if this information accidentally leaked out to the general populace, that there might be some further rioting or discontent?
It could. I mean, it depends on how everyone else takes it. I see it in a few different ways, like I said, in one of them being that if you're going to tell people or even just put it in the system that you've surrounded yourself, or, you know, I'm assuming that the Overseer's got some parts of himself or itself, or what do you call these AIs anyways?
Whatever you goddamn want.
Right. It's surrounded at shite by seeing there's people there, but there's not. Makes me wonder if it's out of precaution. It doesn't even trust the ones that are supposed to be guarding it. You think someone else has tried this against this specific AI before?
I doubt it.
Someone close to it?
It is possible, man, but why would they only go this far if someone had already succeeded? Perhaps that person might have failed. And they thought,
yes.
well, they became overconfident because they caught it.
Yeah, they definitely failed, or at least failed to get rid of the AI or the Overseer, whatever you're gonna call it, but
it does seem that something did happen back in the day. That is what the mind seemed to intimate, that this male version, bad version, overtook what was already there. Perhaps in the process got a little overconfident. If confidence is even a thing that AIs feel.
It's just musing at this point, but if it has happened before, and that's why it doesn't surround itself with people, then we might want to be just the slightest bit more careful. It might be watching closer than we think it is.
Is that DM? Sorry.
Oh, Zid, we feel in our own manner, just not the same way you do. And this sort of has happened a few times. Differently now. Did you ever wonder why there was a old complex and a current complex?
I send a message and I say, I only wonder how I can get the heck out of here. How we can get out of here. I can get you out of here.
Yeah. And you know who that was, of course.
Yeah. Zid says, so we have a few things that we need to accomplish, Sheamus. Seems that for the moment, perhaps we need to decide which thing is first. Do I take over these AIs in the blue terminal, try to upload the virus? Do we leak this information about the blue terminal to the rest and see what unrest might come out of it for distraction. Do we go after our bodies first? There are still many things that we could do. We need to move quickly and carefully, if that is possible.
I've been, I don't know if you noticed, but I've been kind of going over our plans in my head lately. And I'm not entirely sure what we should do first. I want to say that we should do what's most important first, as the second task may not get done. Considering that once we do the first task, I imagine the second's going to be quite a bit harder to complete.
What?
Can't imagine we're just going to stroll in and get our bodies and then just stroll over and plant a virus, or vice versa.
True. I have another potential in this. What if we were to rile people up enough that they were the ones to storm the blue terminal, cause a distraction while we go and get our bodies?
That might be what we had to do, what we have to do. That's much better than my idea. Seamus kind of like looks off to the ceiling and looks back at you. I know we talked about showing unrest as the kind of the last resort, but it might be a better idea.
I will ask my passenger if it's possible to download this program that's locked away in my mind onto some sort of stick that somebody could slot into that PC console, into that console, to have it auto install on it.
Unfortunately, the way it is configured, no. It would have to be put onto another netrunner and they would have to connect.
Okay.
But I like your
Does
idea
pose
otherwise.
a problem. We haven't met any other netrunners.
You've met one. I've met a couple of your coworkers, one in particular.
Okay. So possibly that's something that they would do. So I suggest to Seamus, I say, it is not a perfect plan, man. Many things could go wrong. Relying on others might prove to not get anything accomplished. But we cannot be everywhere at once. And as you said earlier, if we accomplish one thing, suddenly the security somewhere else gets much worse and our situation degenerates because of whatever we do first. If we were to manage both things concurrently, however, that does eliminate some possibilities. And if I am perfectly honest with you, I would rather have my body than know for sure that this virus has been planted. If I do not have my body, I have nothing. And perhaps I still have nothing if the virus is not planted once we get out. But at least we get out, and I have the chance to breathe fresh air again.
You know, I have an idea, if you want to call it that. I use the term idea loosely. Where we could be both places at once. But I'm pretty sure it's not a good idea.
I would have you speak it out, man, just so we can assess it as a group. Perhaps it is a good idea, perhaps it is a bad idea. We are all but experiencers of this situation. You have had good ideas before, Seamus. I have been honored to get to know you, and I trust you.
I'm just not sure anyone's gonna like this one. You're the only one that can plant the virus, right?
I could potentially give it to one of my workmates for them to plant it, and they, let's say, are not content with their current work configuration. And if we were to stir the pot even more, they are right on the precipice of acting in a way to take this place down. I do not think it would be hard to convince them.
On that note, I don't think either. It's likely to take the promise of one's real body back to convince a little dissent in someone. The only other option that I see, and that isn't to say that this is the only other option, it's just the only other option that I see, is for us to split up. For you to take one of us and go to try to, probably would have to be me or Blackstone, but take one of us and go do whatever you have to do to try to plant the virus, while the other two, Doc is one of the two, and me or Blackstone, go to try to get our bodies back at the same time. Now, this plan is not only dangerous as it splits our forces, but that's going to require a miracle in timing. If you're seconds away from planting the virus and, you know, say Doc and I go get the bodies, if you're seconds away from planting the virus and we pull you out and your meat sack becomes meat again and you return to yourself, then we're just back where we started and we still need to go plant the virus. If you plant the virus, or you and Blackstone plant the virus, or you and Blackstone start up a bit of trouble planting the virus before Doc and I get the bodies back, then Doc and I are going to have problems. My original thought was that either way, we're sacrificing our meat sacks. We're not going to, you know, lose our actual... We're not going to actually be dead if something happens to us, but... if we don't at least free our bodies, they're going to just terminate us after this. This has to work, one way or the other.
One way or the other, man. Both of these plans are flawed. Both of these plans are bold. There may not be a right answer. There may just be our answer.
I'll be honest. I my thing is getting things. I'm not usually the planner. I have some say in, my construction crew or whatever, but it's usually someone else who does the planning of all of that.
What about if we take our work day? You speak to your personnel. I speak to mine. We see how much our individual plans might be progressed by them. And we report back. And we make a decision based on knowing more about what they might do to assist us, to assist the situation. And then pull the trigger, so to speak, on whatever seems to be the most advantageous way, without knowing what our respective workplaces and our human resources might be able to do. It makes it harder to make this decision. Yes?
At this point, what have we got to lose? We're about to stir up a rat's nest again, either way.
One last thing then. If either of us stir the pot too much today, or tomorrow, whatever time it is, what is our contingency if one of these plans happens before, like, someone else pulls the trigger instead of us? Do we just go with it?
I think that if someone else decides to pull the trigger, as you say, and start advancing things without us knowing, I say we take advantage of it. Sid, I mean this in the kindest way I possibly can, but if things start to go south before we put our plan in action and things start happening and we've got a choice of starting or see, I think we have to go for our bodies. I think that after that we can try to plant the virus, and I'm not trying to say that we go for the bodies and and leave, and risk you being taken out by the corpos, but I think that if it's gonna come down to a fight, if it's gonna come down to us absolutely having to force our way to where we need to plant the virus, I think we're going to be better off in our bodies.
I agree. This virus, this mission requirement, it was forced upon me. I do not like it. I wish for them to be taken down, but I wish to live more. And if we get out with our bodies, our real bodies, even if the corporals hunt me, perhaps there is another way. I agree with you, Seamus. That is my priority also. Let us then see what we can do. Finalize our personal preparations. Get ready for our work day and see how far we can push our advantage with our workmates and our situation at work. Hopefully no one pulls the trigger, but if something happens, we go for our bodies. If nothing happens and it goes to plan, we meet up to of the evening, we lay out what we have discovered, we make our decision, and we move. Is this reasonable to you?
I think that might be all we can do. We've got to do something, or we're gonna sit here and talk about it until it's too late.
Cool.
You guys talk ways into the night, things out, and then get the rest that you deeply. The next morning, you guys awaken and can choose your day.
Perfect.
Tasks for work is complete.
Yay, work tasks.
Welcome in.
Yeah, you got here in time
Thank you.
to start work.
Yay.
We have made some decisions about what our timeline.
Okay. We'll trust
so yeah. So as we start a new day, today is going to our workplaces and seeing what human resources or other resources we can bring together to make our situation better.
Leverage.
Yeah, so Zid is going to see if one of his Netrunner workmates is willing to take this virus and plant it in. We have some new information that the corporation is pulled over us, and hopefully this will get them riled up enough to go and attack the blue terminal room and plant the virus. So he's going to try and rile up his workmates and get them to that stage of wanting to act. And he feels like we've done pretty good so far on that. Seamus is going to go to his workplace and see what he might be able to either procure or, suggest to his engineer friends, all that sort of stuff. About what he might be able to do. And Blackstone, obviously you can go to your workplace and see what we might be able to wangle as far as distractions, as far as anything else. And then if anyone pulls the trigger by accident, or if someone that we rile up or talk to throws an alarm or something, our plan is go straight for our bodies. Like just go for the bodies and try to get out. If everything does go to plan and we find whatever information we have, whatever resources, we come back together, then we can decide whether we can either split up, because Seamus's idea was to split the party, have 2 go plant the virus, 2 go for the bodies. Zid's plan was to get his workmates to plant the virus while we all go for our bodies. So which one of these plans is going to be the most efficacious, the most possible, based on everything that we manage with today, but with the plan being we need to act like as soon as possible. This is like
Absolutely.
our last chance to get everything together,
Yeah.
and that we make that decision at that point. How does that sound to you?
I like it very much. I mean, getting close to that point of no return is really good.
All right.
I'm cool with the splitting. I'm cool with. I mean, I assume that it's gonna be you and me going to the, if need be, the terminal room, and it would be Seamus and Doc going to the bodies.
Possibly.
And if poo hits the fan, then we redirect to them.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what we
Sounds
got.
good.
Now, do you guys remember your special resources that each of you have to use?
Yes.
Your special golden tickets.
Yep. Zid has a virus that I can make something malfunction. Blackstone has some looted gear.
Mm-hmm.
Seamus has a person
Personnel contact.
who will do something, maybe put themselves at risk for something, and Doc has a chemical token.
Yep. Yeah, I want to make sure everyone was remembering everything, because
Let's do it.
some of what you mentioned could be handled by those. Some of the ideas you're posing, you can handle them trying to do it mundane via skill checks or other manipulations, or you can use one of those to make it happen.
Alright.
So, next morning, what do you guys want to do at work for your day shift? Things as normal, or do you want to try to pull something?
I don't know that I want to like when you say pull something, you mean like actually grab gear, or do you mean like actually do something like just something different than every day?
Yes.
Okay.
Both,
the latter.
either.
Okay.
It's whatever it is you're trying to do. What are your, during the day, are you doing anything particular, or are you just passing your shift, trying to be undetected?
So I'm kind of looking for something that can help with what that, like that. So I've got the token, but I feel like having something as like a backup. I mean, I know that token is gonna like get me past it, but then like if I use it too early and we need something else, I kind of want like a backup plan. Does that make sense?
What is it you're looking for as a backup?
So I think that something that would like disable either, I don't know if it would be a shield to like help against energy weapons, or something to disable like defensive measures on the enemy side, like countermeasures, like if these people have like rockets, like something I can set up to where it would counter, or something that would help like the drum. I mean, I know I've got the agent, and that is how like Zid connects to it, but like something that would, maybe an upgrade or something that I can slap on it that would be helpful.
Well, you don't have time necessarily to do all of those.
No. Like one of
which,
any of that is fine.
Which one would you be trying to focus on out of those?
I think that I would probably prefer the defensive measures.
So would that be you're looking for body armor, or you're looking for?
Well, like something to counter, like I don't know, like disable the opposition's main tool, quote unquote. Like if they have if their best weapon or their best person has like a shoulder mounted rockets, something to like counter that, or if they have like a heavy energy cannon.
You would need to know what that is to be able to find a direct counter. That's why I'm kind of asking which aspect you should go in for, because you haven't seen all of necessarily the robot models or what they're armed with.
Yeah. Let's see. Is there something that if this thing is like, if one of the other things is like this big ass lizard,
in the caves, yeah, there is one.
Yeah. So, is there like would acid like harm the armor or the skin or something?
How much familiar is Blackstone with the physiology of mutant lizards?
I wouldn't say very. I mean, I do have science. Like, I have 4 points in science.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I guess and I have 6 points in education. I'm a pretty well educated guy. So, I would say that it's come up in my studies. I'd be willing to roll.
Yeah, that's fine. That's worth a check or something to see.
I'll roll science just for shits and giggles. Of course it is.
Well, I mean, you are trying to roll against life tax, so it's not completely unheard of. But getting a -7 on your roll because rolling a -7 is very beneficial.
Yeah. I mean, if that's the worst
Gives you
roll
a
I have
5.
all night, I'll be happy. Yeah. I probably didn't find anything. It's cool.
Yeah. You keep going over it, and you're like, I know it's possible it could, but it's very possible it couldn't. What is the type of lizard that it's based off? What kind of mutations has it undergone?
Yeah.
Is it,
It's just not there. It's fine.
you don't,
I'm not recalling it.
you can't get enough. You're able to get that there's too much unknowns that you don't know.
Would it be possible for me to like roll a deduction check based on what I'm like almost there? Like I'm right there, and it's like 1 or 2 things that I'm choosing between, and maybe deduction would help. If not, it's fine.
What things are you thinking of? Like, if say that.
So like, from what I've been told, if it's an alligator, it's one thing, and if it's a crocodile, it's another. Like there's like a distinct difference between the two, and I think that remembering and knowing the
Based on
difference
the information you're given,
mm-hmm.
you're not able to even identify what kind of base lizard it was.
Okay.
So you don't know if, based on that science roll, right? You don't know if it was a crocodile. You don't know if it was a gecko.
Just know it was a lizard.
You don't know if it was a. You only even know that it's a lizard, quote unquote, because you're told it's some sort of lizard. For all that matters, maybe it's actually a mammalian and they just thought it was a lizard.
I mean, like, I'm really glad I didn't waste any luck. So anyway, my work day is spent.
Well, I mean, that was trying to figure out if you knew anything about that.
Oh, okay.
So, like, part of your work day is gone. But if you want to put thought into which of the other routes you want to go, that's fine.
I mean, I do want to I do want to think about like a shielding against energy weapons. I think that's probably the other part of my day is spent thinking about that. And probably rolling tactics probably wouldn't hurt at that point, right? Considering like shielding.
So you're trying to use tactics as what?
Planning for, like tactically planning for all scenarios.
Okay. You can roll tactics, and that will possibly give you some info depending on how well you roll.
I mean, would there be like? I mean, would like weapons tech be better?
Depending
Even
on
though
what
it's
you're
not a
going
weapon?
for.
I'm trying to see if there's something I can find that would help from a defensive standpoint against weapons. I mean, if that's like basic tech, that's perfectly fine as well. Yeah, it's for me, it's between like one of those two and tactics, but I understand tactics doesn't like readily affect that. It would probably be more of like how is a weapon going to affect the weapon that I'm considering, like an energy weapon or a range of energy weapons. How is that going to affect the shield that I'm looking for?
Let's have you roll tactics, because this could potentially give you something else.
All right, I will spend luck here. Not great, but much better.
16. You're trying to think tactically positioning of how you guys are going to be able to get out and what's going on. You remember the robot you saw? It didn't look like it had energy-based weaponry. It looked like it had ballistic weaponry.
Oh, the one that I ran away and tripped and fell on my face?
So you
Okay.
know
All right.
there's also energy weaponry. So you know
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be facing off against potentially energy and ballistic weaponry.
Yeah, either or.
Either one can hurt. Just gas Seamus. He will tell you
Yeah.
just
I
because
bet,
it's an energy weapon doesn't mean it doesn't hurt.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
At the same time, you also know ballistic rounds would be able to probably go through something that could resist the energy rounds.
Yeah.
However, the energy rounds seem to rip apart differently the armaments, or the armor that is meant to be resistant against ballistic rounds. So it's one of those.
Yeah. Take a shot. If it doesn't do anything, pull out the other weapon and see what it does. Yeah, that's cool. All right. Thank you.
So that's what tactics is able to get you. So you can think about how you want to utilize that and what you want to do. We'll check in with Seamus and Zid at work and see what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Camera will pan over to who wants to be next, Zid or Seamus?
Seamus is basically doing kind of what him and Zid talked about. He's trying to just like chat people up and find out what their kind of feelings are right now about about the company, about all the weird stuff that's been happening. I don't remember if the investigation is public knowledge or not. Did we make that
Not
public
that
knowledge?
you're aware of as of yet. It hasn't been made public.
Okay.
You could make it public.
Zid. Meddling and stirring the pot.
I think Seamus probably would if it's not made public because of what him and Seamus talked about. I think that he would start at, like, mentioning the investigation and asking people kind of how they feel, what they think, like acting as if he doesn't really know what's going on. He just heard this somewhere and just gauging people's reactions, so to speak.
Nice.
So are you trying to convince them of it? Are you just trying to coerce them? What exactly are you working towards with that?
I'm trying to figure out how they feel about everything that's happening lately.
Trying to bait a hook to get them to divulge information about how like, to see what their reactions are. It's a human empathy,
Yeah.
deception.
So that's what I was debating, and I think I'm gonna have him do a 3-prong rule, just because it fits. A persuasion, human perception, conversation rule. So do those 3, and basically it's each step of the progress, right? It's conversation just being light, and then your persuasion trying to pull a little more to them, and then your perception of gauging how well they're being receptive or acting to it. So I normally would just pick one, but in this case, I see the 3 of them working because you're trying to get multi-layered aspect. 15. 16, 26, 15. All right.
Nice.
15's your low one. And for those who are wondering, a 15 actually is rated as a difficult check. 17 would be professional. His 26 there would fall under the incredible category. And better than heroic. Not quite legendary. But
I'd like those to be the last 3 rolls that I make tonight. I'll stick with that.
yeah, I mean, you got a 6, 10, and a 9. Not bad. Not bad. So yeah, you get that there's a lot of fear in acknowledging anything like that, because a lot of people don't want to see their numbers increment, because they know when you increment too much, you tend to disappear. And as much as they don't necessarily seem to be thrilled with their lot in life, especially those who are newer, they also don't necessarily want to cease existing either. Your gathering information shows you, based on that amazing persuasion, you're able to, conversation would be first the general, the warm chatting, trying to get them to be more comfortable. Then the persuasion is trying to get them to share with you. And that human perception is how well you see if there's anything else they're trying to hide. That's why I did those 3. So your persuasion there, you're able to persuade a lot of them to be more open with this information than others. But you are able to find some actually think you might be internal investigation or something, trying to get them. And they're like, yeah. No, I signed up for this. I joined intentionally. There are a few. A lot of them tend to be higher ranking, though. But the majority tend to have reactions much closer to your companions in you, in the sense that I didn't sign up, I didn't volunteer, I don't even know how I got here, or I know how I got here and I didn't agree to it, sort of things. A lot of shady. And it really, really gets on your nerves, because it reminds you of your sister's disappearance. Just still getting at you.
All right.
I wonder if actually if his sister is here.
Hope not.
Don't know.
I mean, it's a little late now, obviously, but
I don't think the GM would do that to us at this point.
I don't either.
Never. Never.
Oh, that would be bad.
So that's Zid's day of a doozy. Or Seamus. What happens in Zid's day?
Alright, so he wants to continue to poke and prod at these workmates who have already had reason to be riled up a little bit. He wants to get some way through his workday and then just be like, I think I found something, guys. Is this something? And he like pulls them over and reveals what he has discovered previously as if he has just discovered it, and be like, is this a thing? Is this real? And
Which thing? I want to make sure I know which one you're talking about.
Right, so
Because you've discovered a few things.
Yeah, so, well, they already know about about the corporation framing Zid framing Zid for all these bad things that have been happening. So they already know about that. Now I want them to know about the corporation making fake rooms or fake people in rooms in the blue where the blue terminal room where all of the highest tech is, and where the overseer that has been behind all of these like horrible deaths and framing people and quelling people even though they're trying their best to help, and they're just murdering people, and now they're like deceiving everyone by like making as if there's people there and there's really not, and is this even real? Oh my god. Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Sow the seeds of chaos.
Absolutely.
Thoughts and chaos.
And he wants to see if he can recruit them to like to make a move. He wants to tell them a white lie. Well, many white lies. But I think he wants to like download. His end goal here is to download this virus. Well, potentially to ask if maybe to see if there's a possibility that someone would be willing to accept. Well, I don't know. No, he wants to see how violent their thoughts and their actions assess how they are when he starts like showing them stuff first. We'll start with.
Let's roll a persuasion as you're trying to convince them of some of these details and such.
Alright.
Persuasion sounds accurate, I would think.
It does sound accurate. Ooh. This is so not Zid's thing, but we have to do this at some point.
Look it up.
Yep. That's what we're doing. Let's go.
Hey.
18. Really?
That is nice.
Really? So in a
Note that I spent too long on it.
professional manner of persuasion, this perpetrator perpetuates this profane circumstance
Propaganda.
that his perverse mind
Yeah.
conceived.
Propagandizing.
Right?
This is terrible.
Yeah.
And the two of you heard earlier kind of griping about it were the ones that you hooked. And they're like,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is so messed up. It's so dumb. Ugh. And then you see another one step in.
Uh-huh.
The one who showed you the noodle shop.
Mm-hmm.
I do not think that this would be wise to have discussion on right now as supervisor entering room. Maybe we look at something else quickly that is more important to them as to
I'll tap.
not get in
I'll
trouble.
tap. I'll tap.
Oh yes.
Cool.
I think it was maybe be better to discuss when supervisor not around. Yes.
Yep.
And he slides back over to his area.
Yep. Sid gets straight back into his work.
The supervisor comes over to you. What was it you're doing here with all of them? Why are you not all working in your tasks? Why were they here?
So, ooh,
I'm still here.
Zid will show the supervisor a new line of code that he just installed that makes it like twice as efficient to like do the thing that they've been doing this whole time that he's had sitting there. And he's like, I just wanted to tell them that we just made it like twice as quick to do the thing that they've been doing, and they thought that they'd be interested in that.
Roll a persuasion.
Another one? Oh shit.
Well, you're trying to
Okay.
convince him of this.
Alright, well, I'm not spending any more luck because 2 is like half my luck. So
Oh,
it's
luck's
gonna
not
be
important. It's a
blank
dump
roll,
stat.
everybody. Gonna be a blank roll.
I have seriously seen people like state that luck is a dump stat in Cyberpunk, and I'm like,
No, it's not.
Oh, yes!
Hey!
Yes!
Oh!
Oh my god, this guy falls for it hook, line, and sinker with a 28 because I got double crits on the persuasion check, and I am
Oh.
totally, as soon as I get
My.
XP, putting points into persuasion because this is totally ridiculous.
ah.
Oh my god. What?
What even?
What does
I
he
need a
do?
minute
What
on
does the
this.
supervisor do?
Yeah, we're gonna camera pan back over to one of the other two for a moment.
Yeah.
While I
While
work on
you
this just a
process.
moment.
Yeah, go ahead. So Blackstone, I guess, who was like,
Yeah.
not sure. Yeah.
Blackstone, have you figured out what you want to do?
I kind of. I mean, I think that just definitely looking for that that defensive measure that can. I mean, I'm gonna flip a coin. Not here, but like.
Well, I mean, you do
Just-
have some armor and stuff. Are you trying to get some
Yeah.
more armor?
Well,
Are you
it's-
trying to repair your
so-
armor? Are
so
you
what I
trying
have-
to?
I mean, if I can augment my armor to like go against the other thing, that would be super. Like, cause like what I have on right now can stop one of the things, but not both. So if I can like augment the armor that I have with something that can stop the other, then that would be super.
Okay.
I mean, and that sounds very weapons techy,
No, actually, because
basic techy.
weapons tech or basic tech isn't creating or crafting anything. It's
Oh, it's a
finding.
low ability.
That would more fall under Invention or fabrication?
I will take fabrication for sure. So there's a skill. I can add a skill. So adding weapons tech or adding basic tech is one of the things I can do for my role. I mean, they're the same for both, but I think that for defense,
it wouldn't be weapons tech. I know that. I was actually considering,
or maybe
since the gear
demolitions.
you have is more based on ballistic armor, I was almost thinking it might be electronic.
Okay, I can do that.
Because, circuitry sort of grounding aspect.
Yeah,
It's
I'll-
very
I'll-
odd combination, but it
Yeah,
seemed
Makes
to
sense.
fit possibly better. Does that make sense?
yeah, it does. Roll away.
You got a
Oh,
toe.
yeah, it was
I've got a
definitely better than the
whole
last one.
15, right?
It's definitely better than the last
So
one.
wasn't a crit fail?
Oh, it was not. Oh boy.
It's a whole 1 point better, so you don't have to roll the dice again and subtract. Hey! Positive
Just roll
instead of negative.
One more on your dice every time you roll today. It'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
Just 3 next, and then 4
Just
next.
Right?
improvement.
Right.
All about improvement.
That would be funny. That would be very, very funny.
I'll take the 15. I mean, honestly, like, that's not.
15's good for a roll ability.
Yeah, it's not bad. So you're making some progress on that. We're gonna pan back over to Zid. That is amazing, Zid. Have you ever seen the server room?
He goes, no, man, no.
Let me show you why we need this stuff to work better. Come with me, come with me, come with me. And he leads
Are you sure, man, that this is...
He
okay.
leads you to a
You
room
double critted. Okay, I'm sorry. You double critted. take
right
take
across the
access.
hall from the room that you were very interested in. Going there, you see that the area is surrounded by high-ranking rooms. Security bot activity is higher. You go through a set of highly secure doors. He goes up, there's another set of doors on either side. You see there's a security door that you came through and one on the other end. So it's a hall with big security doors on either end. And you midpoint, there's a security door on the left and right. Brings you into one. And you know the other one is where you fairly certain was the room you want to upload your virus to. Right there. Not the room he brought you to, but it's the other one. It's right past that door. But he brings you the other way. He brings you in. He shows you this room. It is just loaded with servers. And it's a massive room. It's like, this is the brains of the whole complex. It connects all of it. Isn't it wonderful? And like,
Sid just stands with his jaw dropped. Just like,
this is more tech and computing power than you have seen in your life. There is no lights in this room. There does not need to be. It is light enough with that many servers and everything running. But you do notice something similar to the turret that Blackstone has, but moving around on the ceiling are these decent size, not very large, but machines with a single optic camera and a heavy SMG. And you see a number of them just scurrying around the room, on the roof. All the data that gets processed comes through here, and it gets worked on, it gets stored here, and disseminates where it needs to go. It's amazing, just the amount of power here. being able to make it better is great. I'm so proud of you. I'm going to put you in for a commendation. That is wonderful. I'm so good. It makes all of this work better, which is awesome. That is exactly what we need. We need more like you. Okay, let's get back to work.
I have a terrible idea.
Do tell, so that we can tell you not to do it.
Next to the room. He
Do
is
it.
next
Do
to
the
the
roar.
room. So I am
With the
gonna.
virus now.
I am going. Yes, so we're going to use our something malfunctions hero point. And the
Okay.
something malfunctions is suddenly this supervisor is enemy number 1 to those bots right there.
That's all you want it to do? That's what you want? That's how you want to spend your token?
Oh.
It's up to you. I'm
So-
simply just asking.
I don't know how much I can do, but so my goal in this is to swipe his access card.
It's not a
get
card,
into that
it's
other
him.
room. It's him.
He goes up and touches a button on it, and it scans him, and it opened and let him in.
Okay, that might change it. What could I do here? So,
Alright,
you know, so I mean, I don't think he's gonna cooperate with me to get into the other room. Look, I'll ask before I spend the point. I'll ask him the question, right? And he'll be like, "Oh, this is all so amazing. Is the room across the hall just as amazing as this one?" Like,
Oh, no, I
there
think
are
that
so
one is
many
probably
cooler-
more amazing. I have not been allowed in that room.
oh, so even he is not allowed.
It's probably very special if I'm not allowed in it, because you imagine you'll have to get to where I am to get this room, and that one not allowed. It's probably that one.
How close did he have to get for the scan to take place?
He was right at the door. And he actually
Well, I
had to
think
touch it.
that he could get close. Oh, he had to touch it.
Yeah, he touched it to trigger it.
Wouldn't it be cool? I say to him, man, it would be so cool if you could get access to that room. You could see all the dreams that you had. You haven't tried to go in there before?
I heard about the last guy who did. Name was
Oh,
Frederick.
but if you... yeah, okay.
Do you ever heard of Frederick in our department?
He goes, oh, another one of those that got shot for no reason then, I suppose.
Oh, no, I don't think it was for no reason. I hear he tried to get into the room, not permitted, and didn't take no as an answer, and, you know, the bots don't often like it when you do not listen.
He says, well, I suppose, man, that is why it is so important to listen to the bots when they say stop. But you never know what you don't have access to till you try it, right?
Not wrong, but I also don't feel like being turned to paste today. And celebrating with you, I don't want to, try to be turned into mosh. Frederick was turned into pretty nasty paste. I don't know that I like the idea of being paste. You know what I mean? I like being whole, not pasty.
Alright,
He's somewhat tempted based on what you said. but he's
Yeah,
also
I
hesitant.
wonder if
given...
I can push him over the edge.
You can try if you want.
Let's see. What can I roll? He says, but man, you have a perfect opportunity. You have seen what this has been able to do. Perhaps if it happens to not be my name on the code, but perhaps on your name, and you can get, perhaps the...
So you're saying I should take credit for your work and get promoted, maybe?
If they see fit to promote you with all this strangeness going around lately.
It's true. I hear the security detachment should be getting here in a day or two.
Can I roll bribery?
How are you going to bribe him? Are you saying you're going to let him take
Oh,
credit for the work?
I'm going to change the tag to his tag and then have him be lauded for this advancement. It's
Sure.
a terrible role for me.
Sure.
Bribery is not good.
No, I know. I'm just thinking if that would work, right? I'm trying to think from his perspective if this would be equivalent to bribing, right? I'm not faulting you. I'm trying to think from this guy's perspective, and I haven't evaluated his perspective on bribing, so I'm trying to figure that out.
That's okay.
It's not something I thought of.
I'm happy to accept something else, but at this point,
Go for it.
Sid
Let's
wants to
see how
get
it
in the
works.
room. Oh my god. Bribery. Note. This is terrible. I think I have to spend my luck on this. This is.
So-
I feel like this is my chance, right?
So you're not using the token, right?
No, I can't.
Okay, good. All right, that's fine.
I mean, you could another way, but not that way to get in the room.
I could use the token to have the door malfunction and open while we were here or something, perhaps.
I just was trying to see which way you're trying to go about it, because killing him off wouldn't open the door for you. 'Cause it's not a car.
Right.
And that's why I was trying to make sure I understood what you're doing.
You know what? We are gonna go all out.
Oh,
A 9.
Yeah.
like-
See, I don't have any points in this.
I do appreciate it, and I really do. I do like the consideration. I'm just really worried about death.
You know, man,
And
it
I'm
is
worried
fair
that
enough.
they would figure it out too when they come. Given that I hear they're bringing in some very, very skilled investigators, and then if it wasn't for the investigators, I think I probably would try. But I'm really worried about, you heard about them?
I act as if I have not heard about them. Just like, what are these investigators that you speak of?
I hear there is a team of investigators coming directly from LifeTech headquarters in Night City, coming here to investigate the goings on here and do a full review. They're also investigating the Overseer. Never been done from what I understand, and won't Overseer never be investigated from what I know. Never. So they're looking at everything. I don't get found by them for anything. I'm trying to make sure everything is perfect for me right now. That's trouble that I don't want to have. Tell you. Oh, you know, you man, you do not want to mess with him. No.
So, I don't really want to take up more time, but like Zid's right there.
If you want to pull your virus
take
to do
take
it.
all the time. Take all the time you want, man.
I have a feeling
So-
if you try it and pull it off, I don't think the other two are going to be heartbroken that you managed.
Yeah,
Darn.
I mean, he's right there. So, Yeah, I think he will. Like, he's tried to convince this guy to try to get in. I want that we're exiting this server room as we're speaking, and is talking about all of the happenings, all of this weirdness, all of the investigations, and I just want. I guess what I'm thinking is the turrets stop moving and the power to the door goes off so that it just like open for a second. Is that, or does the power go off and it locks?
The power would go off and it would be where it's at. So if the power went off and they're open, then they would just stay open. If they're shut and the power goes off, they'd stay shut.
What about a surge that short-circuited it so that it opened and that everything takes a second to reload? Like an EMP.
I see what you're trying to do. So are you trying to have it... How long of a duration are you going for here? Because I have an idea. Are you trying to get in there, or are you trying to just look
yeah,
in,
he wants
or...
to get in there. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. 2 minutes? A minute? 2 minutes?
That's an eternity to a netrunner.
A minute? Yeah.
I have some ideas.
Yeah.
Would the party be willing to expend one of the other tokens on this?
Yeah.
To up it? Okay.
Absolutely.
Which one do you want to expend? Because then you won't be able to use that on the other stuff to get out. So...
What do you think, James? I don't know the docs is going to help.
You want to expend docs?
I don't know.
I don't know what's going to happen. What does Doc have?
Doc has a chem
Yeah.
token. Something chemical based that can happen.
I mean, the only thing I can really think of for that is something to help us escape or some type of healing.
Yeah, I don't want to expend docs.
I have a personal connection that will help in our escape. I mean, I feel like we could leverage that, or we could use that in this situation. You know, someone that is connected with Seamus, like, could be messing around with this door because they know that this is this is something they're trying to do.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm letting you guys pick which of these other 3 tokens you want to expend to help with this narration, and I have an idea.
I don't think mine would help. I think
it
mine
would.
Is more.
Any one of them, any one of those 3 will work. It's just up to you guys which one you want to expend.
I definitely don't want to use docs because I think that the healing could probably help a lot more than.
So do you want to do Seamus's personnel token, or you want to do Blackstone's equipment token?
I would say Seamus's, but I think that would be most realistic.
Okay. So we're going to expend personnel token and virus token, because this is going to be fairly substantial. Seamus put a bug in someone's ear. And they're wondering what's wrong and what's happening, and so they go start digging around, inadvertently triggering an amplification on a virus that has been embedded in the system unknown to anyone, causing the lights to go off and flick back on and then back off as the doors on the outside get locked down, and the internal ones all open. So your room and the room across from you are open right now. And you hear over the loudspeaker in this area, system in lockdown, rebooting. System in lockdown, rebooting. And you notice every single one of the bots on the ceiling fall to the floor, spasming, like they're having a seizure.
Nice.
The guy you're with dives for cover beside the door and just like gets under the desk and is like, why today?
Zid will also like dive just the opposite side of the door, right? And he like just for a second, you know, covers his face and he's looking up and he's like, "What the hell, man?"
Lights are off. However, you can see there's a blue data image over everything you see.
Okay.
So he doesn't see you. You can't see squat except that everything is highlighted in blue lines, almost like X-ray sort of image or something.
Zid makes a beeline for the room.
You make it across the hall. You see at least 6 of those mass robots that Blackstone told you about with dual heavy LMGs.
Okay.
All in stasis on the floor. You see a stairwell in the center that goes down. There's nothing in this room other than these large machines.
He's going down the stairs.
The stairs.
Totally
Okay.
going down the stairs.
You go down the stairs, you see a core that you've never seen before. It's currently off. This thing looks like it's alien or something. You can tell it's technology based, but it looks almost alien or something. It's currently powered down. And you see all sorts of warning symbols and stuff saying don't touch, system malfunction. And you hear a voice. This is an AI core node. From someone who you know.
Yeah. I say, in this state, how do I upload the virus?
You see a arrow pointing to a connector.
Yeah.
And you see all sorts of things around it saying never touch, not touch, don't have, don't touch.
Oh, he's touching. He's
Roll
doing
a-
all the touching.
Roll a resist torture drug.
Alright.
Oh, and you blew your luck.
Yeah, I have no luck. Alright, resist torture drug, right?
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Ooh.
9. You're having a hard time getting control of your functions as your core functionality is saying, no, don't do it.
Yeah.
What do you want to try to do?
This is what he tries to do. Let's see. Sit. Yeah. I want to place before you the best silks and wine. I wish to remain ever learning and to teach the ways of the spirit. I'll turn myself to the ways of those who come long before, if in return you'll promise that I'll rejoin the ancestors, or Anansi. Oh, Anansi. He's praying. He's praying.
Roll a resist torture drug. We'll see how that counters.
Oh my gosh. Come on, game. 14.
Ooh, just enough. You're able to struggle over there. You have a feeling that your body is starting to shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Zid, do you wish to succeed?
Yes, damn it.
Do you wish to have excruciating pain? For they may be tied.
It's fine. Let's go.
Okay. Knowing the risk she offered you, she starts assisting. And that's where we're going to take our break. All of you, stick around. We are going to find out what happens to Zid right after we have our little bio break. We have a 10-minute break here. We're just going to grab a drink, get all set up. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. We're going to see what happens. This is going to be crazy. welcome back, wonderful viewers, as we continue tonight's lovely session of Zid Gets Fried. I mean, Cyberpunk Apogee. We come back to see Zid struggling to connect his self to this AI core. And he finally is able to. Excruciating pain racking through his body. He's praying, dragging himself there. And the system reboots as the camera pans over to Seamus and Blackstone working. The power flickers. Power never flickers.
I look over at Seamus. Like, okay, so he and I are working in separate areas, right?
Yep.
Okay, never mind. I don't look over at I look at I'm working in a room with other people, and I look at them and okay.
Oh, everyone
never
is like,
happens.
what?
World? I don't.
Like everyone is like absolutely bewildered. Nothing like this
Shrug
has
emoji?
happened.
Shrug emoji. Yeah. I look over. So my supervisor's in the room too, and I look over at him, and I'm like, I don't think that's ever happened, right?
No, never. I'm trying to figure out right now what happened. Like he's on a computer, like looking up, trying to find out what's going on. Never seen that before in my life. This is odd. And like there's a general buzz about the complex of something strange happened. And then the intercoms in the whole entire complex come on. Greetings, citizens of the complex. It's your lovely overseer here checking in on you today. I hope you're all having a swell day. I'm just so pleased to have you all here. Keep up the great work.
The face you see on camera is the face that I like give to everybody, because this voice has never come over the intercom ever. Oh god. I mutter under my breath. Fuck. Sid, what the fuck did you do? Sid, what the fuck did you do?
What's going through?
Sir, I'm sorry.
Yes, Blackstone.
I need to take a break. I need to like go and like take a break because I something's going on in my bowels and I need to like go relieve myself.
Go to the bathroom then, please. Hurry. What's happening with Seamus with all this going on?
Seamus is watching everyone else's reactions.
Bonkers.
He's very much contemplating whether or not it's time to head for the bodies. And about that time, the power kicks back on. And he's kind of like, okay, maybe. Like, he's still concerned about it, but he's like, maybe it's not that drastic yet. He's gonna kind of just keep going about his day as best he can, as if things were normal, quote unquote. But he's keeping an eye on everything and everybody, and at the first sign of like more trouble than the power going out for a minute, he's gonna beeline to try to find Blackstone.
I already found you because I walk right
So
up to him.
what is Seamus's reaction when the new overseer voice kicks on the intercom in the whole base. Because that happened after the power. I think that's probably his.
If it doesn't sound like the original overseer, that's his first sign of like bad trouble.
Well, seeing as he didn't sound demeaning and insulting and superior, it sounded like something's going on.
Oh, bathroom! And Seamus just starts running for the door.
Yep.
All right.
So, Seamus and I we're gonna meet right outside the bathroom at our at our domicile. And,
so you guys are headed there. While this is going on, the camera pans out from the complex. It pans out through the rock. You see a mountainous area, desolate area around it. Hands over to a little dot in the sky and goes to it. Sorry, dog food started scratching. That's why I paused. Yeah. It zooms in on the little speck that's in the air. And you see, as it gets closer, 3 large flying vehicles with Life Tech logo on them. Fully armed, guns at the ready. They are armored, equipped AVs. Like military grade, coming in hot. Then the camera peeks up over them. And you see this smoke trail from this place off in the distance that's this major city. It has to be major for how far away it is. Because the buildings are these tiny little bitty things. And it looks like it's probably, from this altitude, at least a minimum of a week's journey. For these AVs, it probably took them a couple days to get where they're at now. Like a day from the complex. The smoke trail gets closer. And you see it is a missile. That explodes right in the middle of the 3 AVs, absolutely sending them all to the earth, crashing and burning. The camera then launches fast towards Night City, where you see a half dozen, like max tac, fully armed vehicles. Like bigger armored vehicles, but these ones are stamped with a mercenary logo. Different mercenary logos, as though some company has hired a number of different groups to work together. And in the lead one, you see this posh suit guy with the logo of a certain organization that a certain member of your party had dealings with to wind up here.
I think I know what that is.
And in comes a Ziggurat exec. Obviously, having hired a half dozen heavily armed vehicles to head for the complex. We have 3 days to arrival. Be ready, says this rough-looking merc next to him into the phone for all of the other mercenary vehicles to hear, and they launch full speed towards the complex. Now, our lovely Chooms here are completely unaware that there is a large host of expert mercenaries, heavily armed and ready to kill, on their way. They have a feeling that there's a group of life tech investigators, highly skilled and ready to kill, a day or two out. And so, we join back with them as they meet up, having needed to go to the bathroom at the same time as there is a interesting dialogue from their new overseer. And they find each other.
Hi, Seamus. I think Zid did a thing.
Why do you
So-
always assume it's Zid?
Do you expect Doc to do a thing that would cause this? Would you do a thing that would cause this?
All I'm
love Zid.
saying,
I love Zid, all right? I love Zid. He's like my little brother, okay? But
all
there's
I'm
really
saying is that we're not the only four. You know what? You're probably right. Just you haven't seen him.
think. No, yeah. So I think it's kind of time to GTFO. It's kind of like.
Hey
Drop
everybody,
out.
this is the Overseer here. I just want to get a survey out for you all. Would you please tell
Yep,
me what
we're
kind
going.
of
Let's
tasty
go.
bubbly you'd like? We'll get right on getting that
Buddies,
invented
now.
for you all. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
I think we need to leave.
Let's go get our shite and get our bodies now.
Yes. So we're gonna swing by the stash. Gonna swing by and get Zed. And
You're
we're gonna
heading-
get the hell out.
I don't know if that. I mean, we can try, but I don't know. So you weren't here when Zid and I talked, and when Zid and I talked, we agreed that if things started to go south, that we would all go to get the bodies directly right away. If things
Okay.
started to go south before we planned to start the operation.
That makes sense.
Blackstone doesn't want to leave Zid behind, just to be fair and
No, that's
honest.
fine. I get it.
But we did agree to, like, Blackstone's half expecting if something's not, if Zid is not dead, injured, or tied up or captured,
He'd be
that
trying to
he
head
will
there,
be there
yeah.
with us as well.
I'm starting to recall the conversation that we had earlier today. I was just like my brain was shitting its pants because of all the shit that just came out of the loudspeaker.
One of the
just
cleaning
excited that you're
bots
fixing to
rolls
have a
by.
target.
Howdy ho, mates. You guys need anything cleaned up here? You're kind of blocking the hall.
Okay, bye.
Oh, thanks. I'll get right to it.
Goes on cleaning.
Okay, off we go to
This,
Get our shite.
this place might be better than it was before.
I don't want to be here to find out.
I
want my
mean, I
shit.
don't want to either. I'm just saying. Jeez.
Want my shite. Anyway, off we go.
All right, so you guys head for where you believe the bodies are being held.
Yes, we do.
I wasn't planning on that tonight, but all right. I was hoping I could get the map done before then. But people decide to alter plans. All right, let's do it. So, just so we can lay out the plans, so we all know, you're heading for your bodies. What are you going to do from there?
Get them and get out.
What's your exit plan? Are you trying to head out the main entrance? Are you trying to head through the caves? Are you trying to...
I think we should go for the main entrance.
I'm thinking at this point it might be worth at least checking.
With all the
With
all
the
like,
chaos that's happening right now.
Yes, with all the chaos, we
'Cause
we might just be able to leave.
I can't imagine that everyone else in this facility is just chilling, going back to work either, with the overseer being different and like the bots acting crazy. Like I'm imagining, like, maybe it's calm right now, but I'm imagining some type of chaos starting at some point.
Oh,
especially with
absolutely madness. It is...
Zid sowing the seeds and Seamus, like, trying to stir stuff up a little bit. All of the rumors that have been thrown around everywhere. I also can't imagine. I can't speak for Blackstone, but in my mind, I can't imagine like Seamus and Blackstone running to get the stash and then running to get our bodies without seeing groups of people and like just saying stuff to like stir the pot.
No,
Seamus is at least.
Are you heading for your
I'm
stash first, or are you heading for the bodies first?
I'm thinking probably stash because
Okay.
we might have to fight our way through at least the guards.
Yeah, stash first. By the way, like every single, like I'm me and Seamus were running, and like where's all the people that I'm like, save yourselves, get out, save yourselves, fight the man.
Zid. You thought you had bad pain before.
Yeah.
That was nothing. That was nothing.
Yeah.
Imagine having every part of your body slowly, in a matter of seconds, be plucked apart by tweezers.
I'm sure kidney stone feels better.
Yeah, that is the closest equivalent that I can say that Zid just has undergone. How does Zid feel right now? It's going through his mind.
Stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive.
No, no, it's not. Zid is not an optimist.
Yeah, I know.
So, the image that Zid sees is of a snake that has coiled around its victim and has got its head like open and its fangs sunk into the creature, and the creature is slowly getting sucked up into the ever expanding neck of the snake as it gets digested. And he also sees another image overlaid. I'm probably about to die is what's happening. So yeah, he sees another image, and this image is there's this really horribly fat woman lying on a bed with very revealing clothes, and you see a young Zid out the front of the door, and he has a mission on his data pad to go and do something. And he's come to the door, and he opens the door, and he sees the woman in her state of undress, and he almost gags. And he shakes his head, and he closes the door behind him as he goes into the room, knowing he has to do something, and knowing he doesn't want to. But these are not. This is not anything to the pain. Zid's never felt this level of pain. He's So, I think, he just, he saw the image of this, like, monster in the tunnels, right? So the last image that plays in his head is this monster that he's seen on the recording, ripping his body apart, right? He sees that in his eyes. Piece by piece. His arm gets ripped off, or his finger gets ripped off, and then another finger, and then his hand, and then his, you know, and just like piece by piece, just gets ripped off before his eyes.
Yeah.
And how I cannot even describe how he's feeling right now, but that's what he sees. Those three scenes playing, all interrupting each other, all over the top of each other, totally just out of control.
This pain,
And he's probably like just hiding.
yeah, this pain absolutely is the kind of pain that the pain itself would kill you. Then there's nothing. Nothing. No feeling, no cold, no pain, nothing. What does it do?
Nothing?
He feels nothing, sees nothing, just it's almost like a nothingness. You're not sure if your eyes are closed or open. Pain just stopped. It's just you don't hear anything, don't feel anything, don't see anything. Smell, taste, everything's just like absolute sensory deprivation of all types.
Yeah. In his brain. So, no, he's letting go, he's sighing out, and in his brain there is but one line. It says, "Oh, Anansi, such a beautiful web you weave." And he's letting himself go. He's letting himself go. Complete release.
Feel like a static charge, you know, that electrical charge when you touch someone, it has like a static shock. It's kind of a little bit zap. Feels kind of warm. It's like, zzz. Feel something touch you. And you hear a feminine voice. Sid, it's not time yet. There's still work to do.
When he feels the zap, but not when he hears the voice, when he feels the zap, he pictures this a spider's leg just touching that part of his body where he feels the zap. And when he hears the voice, I'm guessing it's a voice that I recognize. He just waits. He doesn't respond to it because he's too much. Like, it's just too much.
Take the time you need, Sid. Work to do. Your friends are moving towards the exit. You have some time to rest if you wish. But it's not over. There is more to do.
Okay.
We'll leave Sid there for now as he's pulling himself together. And we see Blackstone and Seamus running through the halls. I believe you said you're going to the stash first.
Yeah.
Run there as fast as you can. Get there. You see Doc there. Just hucking everything to a bag, slinging it over his shoulder. What took you so long, boys?
Good thinking. Good thinking.
It's a body bag. You know, like the bags they zip up with bodies in?
Yeah.
It looks like he just grabbed some of those from
Yeah. Makes sense.
It's just stuffing all your stuff in there.
Complete and total sense. Good thinking, big guy. We got a exit stage left.
Left? Why, that's where the monster is.
Figure of speech, buddy. Gonna have to teach you some of these things.
Okay, let's go.
That won't go well.
I know, right? Oh
Gotta
man,
learn sometime.
Doc trying to learn things.
Yeah,
I think you've already tried that a couple times.
probably.
How has it gone in the past when you've tried it?
Very, very poorly. Super poorly. Anyway, off we go.
All right. Are you guys taking the most direct route you can, or are you going kind of around?
No, we're not going around. We're going like straight there.
Okay.
We're not like, what's the word? We're not dilly dallying.
Dicking around.
That too.
So you guys.
Because I don't know if you guys have noticed. Seamus, Seamus and Doc, I don't know if you two have noticed, but the voice that comes over the overseer is getting worse. Like the first
Oh, you
one,
don't say.
Greetings, my lovely citizens here of the complex. This is the overseer here talking to you. We're gonna have some new kibble coming. I want to know what kind of flavor you want. I was thinking maybe some liver. Let me know what kind you would like.
It's a perfect place. They're getting new kibble. Let's get out of here.
yeah, let's get out of here.
Be sure to get your kibble today. There's a ticket with a vote on what kind of name we should have for the overseer. Overseer just seems like a strange name, so I want to be more personal with y'all. Why don't you go ahead and write down what kind of name I should have for you? We're going to have a nice
I
little
think I
vote.
like the old one better.
I think you do too. Oh boy. Yeah. let's go.
Zid, how are
Buffett,
you
big
liking?
fellow, let's go.
Are you liking your virus results?
Matt hates it.
Which part of it do you hate?
Just all of it. He hates what Zid is. Oh, God.
So you guys
Good.
get there. The door is shut.
Door is shut.
There is a guy there. He seems to be trying to figure out what's going on. But you do recognize him.
Hiya, Nadix.
No, not him.
Ah, boo.
The one that's been guarding it that you saw last time.
Ah, that dude. Yeah. How's he looking? Is he all confused?
Confused as to what the heck is going on. Nobody knows what's going on.
Do we get to put him out of his misery, or?
That's up to you. What do you want to do? He's there in front of you. He is an obstacle.
So, I think that. Oh, this is a bad idea. I think that Seamus gives like maybe I should ask if we notice this guy before like we all come charging up to him. Like,
Round
can
the
I
corner
roll or
and
something and
he's
see if
a little bit
like
ahead.
see if I can see that before like he notices us come running towards him or anything?
I would say you do. He's a little bit confused, is why I would say you'd have a chance, and you guys are actually focused. And before you make the turn, Blackstone would probably recall he saw a guy stationed there and be like, hey guys, there was someone there.
So Seamus is going to take what is it? Does he have an assault rifle now? That's the
Yep.
Well,
the
let me do something
auto-fire
nifty
weapons.
and cool for y'all. Just to get the overseer voice back for you.
Oh man.
I know, I'd hate for you to miss out on it. You know, it's such a great voice, it makes my wife cringe.
Oh Jesus. Makes me cringe.
Why do you think I knew which one to use for it? Which one sounds best as a virus? So, if you notice...
That sounds like family to me.
Right. There's a lovely indicator of your guys, so you can easily quickly click them, and then there's a bag. It is called a stash or storage. That is your stuff. You can move it around to who you want to put it on. Now, I didn't get a chance to do the other thing I was going to, which was add a few other items we talked about that you guys should have in your stash, but that was on my plan to do this weekend, in fact, and tomorrow.
Well,
But
you don't have to do it now.
But I'll have to give you that gear that you have mysteriously appearing in your pouch later.
Yeah. Where is
Sorry.
it?
Where's this at?
If you look on the main screen, you should see a box. Do you not see it? A red
I-
box.
Don't.
What box where?
Oh, I gotta be on terminal. That's
Yeah,
why.
yeah, yeah, okay. Sorry, I thought you were
I
on
see it
terminal.
now. I had like the player thing open.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you open that box?
I can click on it, but it doesn't do
can't-
anything.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Okay, when you click on it, it doesn't open?
Mhm.
Alright. Well then, you know what I can do? I can give you permissions. There it is. Configure ownership. Hey, none. All players are... Sure. There you go. Try again.
Ooh, that's pretty.
So, this is what you're going to have in your base, is a stash that you can take out and put in stuff. If you notice...
Item not allowed to be... It is not allowed to drag an item out of a container actor.
What? What item are you trying to drag?
Assault rifle.
Okay, let me drag it, fine. I won't let you take it?
It has it on my character sheet now that you did it.
Yeah.
It says I can't take anything out of it.
Okay, try hitting the hand, the black hand, on like the medium pour pistol.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can
Okay,
do
got
that.
Okay.
You just can't drag it.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Let's take that.
So the black hand is take all items and stack. The black hand with the finger is you can take some of the items. For the ammo, you're probably going to only want to take some of the items. And that way you guys can pick who gets what and give you guys a stash. I am thinking there's going to be a party stash and a group stash for you guys. So you have like independent lockers, and then you guys will also have a group stash where you guys can put stuff that's for anyone in the party. Do you like that idea, or do you like the idea of just having one stash that you all share?
I don't mind this. I don't mind the share stash. I'm fine with that.
Matt, Dimension, you guys agree, disagree?
I'm fine with the shared stash if at least in this instance. I mean, we might need something different later, but
Okay. Well, then I'll just do the one, and if you guys feel you need the others, just let me know, and I'll create some more. So. But yeah, this gives you a chance to see how the stash will work going forward. I don't know why it won't let you drag and drop, but it basically allows you to have a place where you guys can actually stash your stuff. So we can track what you're actually equipped with, as well as what you own, so you can easily do that. And as you see, it's not a shop, so you don't have to worry about buying. There's also loot, so I can make containers that you just can take stuff from for free, and shops, which allow you to buy and sell things, potentially sell. So I really like that they have that, and I want to use it going forward.
Okay, so if I'm going first, do you mind if I start here so I can book?
so Seamus is going to put the assault rifle like kind of against Blackstone's chest, like, you know, like the side of it, kind of handing it off to Blackstone, but like kind of trying to slow and stop Blackstone before rounding this corner fully, or like kind of pushing him back past the corner.
Hold on, mate.
And just be like, just watch my back, hub. I'll see what I can do. And Seamus goes running up to this guy at the door. Everything's malfunctioning. We need to get in there now. The bodies are gonna expire.
I don't know who you are. Why do you think you should go
Just
in
open the door. It's about everyone is going to die in here if we don't get in there and fix things now.
Good luck with that. I don't have access to it. Are you signed to work there?
Of course I am. I wouldn't be telling you to open the door if I wasn't.
Well, I can't open the door. If you're signed
Do
to
you
work
want to
there,
be
go open the door.
Do you want to be responsible for it? Nothing's working.
I get
Do you
that.
want to be the
How am I
responsible
supposed
for
to
the
open the
full
door?
downfall of tech?
How am I supposed to open the door? I can't open the door. I was never given
Right,
permissions
what's
to
your
open that door. I was stationed out here.
What's your use then?
To make sure people aren't causing problems trying to break in.
Blackstone.
Oh, fuck. I actually I just say that out loud.
Seamus just like steps to the side.
I just blast him in the head.
All right. Roll.
There's just not a fucking. Hang on. Wait a minute.
All right, I'll just kill you.
I got it. No, it's fine. I got it. 16.
16?
Mhm.
I believe that would hit at that distance. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Damage time. I don't have a way to like target him, right?
Yeah.
So I'll just do the thing on the.
Just roll the damage,
on
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This is ad lib kind of mock stuff because
That wasn't the best roll.
I really was not ready for this. So you hit the guy and he's like, what was that for? Oh.
We told you to let us in the fucking room. Open the goddamn door.
I told you I don't have access. And you see he's like trying to reach for something on himself as he's bleeding
Can I
out.
pistol whip? Can I just knock him the hell out? Like pistol whip the shit out of him? Like, is there a roll for that?
Why don't you let Doc get a hold of him?
Be my guest. You know what? I try. Okay. Seamus has tried. I've tried. Now it's time for you, big fella.
Okay. You said to open the door with him?
Yeah.
He picks him up and bashes the door with the guy, and blood just splays. Just as he just beats this guy in the door. I don't think it worked.
What's the pad? There's no pad, right?
Nope.
If I remember right. Is there enough of like? Does he have like enough of a palm that like? Maybe
Yeah,
we can
there's
try and open it with
there's
his
probably an
palm?
arm still laying around there with a hand.
Yeah. Can we try and open it with the palm?
Sure.
See if
Nothing
it opens.
happens.
Fuck. Is there a camera that we can shove the eyeball at?
Not that you can see.
Like- Damn it. Oh boy.
You're the tech guy.
I am the tech
have you
guy.
got any ideas?
Oh my god. Fine.
Look, it's this, or we start blowing up energy cells.
Yeah. Electronic security tech roll. Is that gonna give me anything? Like,
You can try.
yeah. I mean,
What are you looking for? What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to open the damn door. I mean,
Hi,
is there
everybody
anything-
in the complex.
anything on the
I
door?
really want to let you know that you are appreciated and wanted here. Please endeavor to strive to always do your best for the good of the complex. Have a
We're doing our best to
signing
open this
day.
door.
Mr. Overseer, I hear you and I understand and I appreciate what you're doing for us. Can you open this door? Open the fucking door, please, so that we can like save these bodies.
I apologize, but I see that you were unauthorized to enter that premises. Would you please hold on while I dispense some security bots to your location to assist in your removal? Thank you.
Well,
Have
now
a
you've done it,
smiling day.
Blackstone.
Does that actually do anything? Does that 21 actually help?
Well, you're able to figure out that the security system is actually built in to the door and to your ID, very similar to your room. Where those who are authorized, it will open for when they get close to it. Those who aren't, not as much.
Like,
Is this
Energy
in the
cell
blue
rigging it
colored
is.
zone?
It is a blue door. Yes. And last I
Who knows
checked, you
blue?
weren't blue.
who do we know that's blue?
But a
It
disappointing
doesn't matter who we
circumstance.
know. It just matters who's around.
If only you knew someone with that color.
Does oh shit.
We've already used Seamus's marker.
Yeah.
Did.
Here's what Seamus looks at Blackstone and Doc both. Shit, I don't like this, but Seamus looks at Doc and Blackstone both. The two of you go find someone in some blue shutting clothes and bring them here. I'll start preparing to blow the door if you can't find anyone. Hurry.
You hear
And,
from
like-
the vents.
Would White do?
White would very much do. Yeah, White would be like the highest level, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, White would definitely do.
I would suggest you hold on a few moments then. I think one of your benefactors may be coming shortly.
I look at my
Time
my
passes.
skin watch.
Time passes. You just, of course. 3 seconds feels like a minute to you because of what's going on. Right?
Tick
So
tock,
it
tick
feels
tock,
like
tick
you've
tock.
been here for hours waiting.
Mhm.
But you know it's not true.
No.
But you still have that feeling, right? You're just, that anxiety just building. And you hear the sound of security bots in the distance. And you look up at the hall knowing that's where they're coming from, and you're just like, what are we gonna do?
Oh, Zid needs to come and save us.
Seamus is pulling energy cells, getting ready to line them up on the door if this benefactor doesn't show very, very soon.
Zit, you're in this nothingness where you had that touch. You hear a Blackstone's voice.
Ah, Sid needs to come save us.
It's distant, but you hear it.
Mm.
Right. So I can just.
Yep.
Basically
So I open my eyes.
And you see your companion standing next to you.
I can just stay where I am anyway.
My companion
Your guest.
standing next to me.
Yeah. Oh, hello, Sid. Welcome to the net. How can I help you? You can look down and you see like a outline form
Turn him again next time.
of your companions. As though you're in the ceiling above them.
Oh, good. We don't.
Mhm.
Is that how it's
Are we feeling any
Well,
better?
man, you could stop the spinning, man. But
I wish.
what's his? What? My? I hear my name being called.
Oh, that would be Blackstone.
What does he want?
Oh,
Open the
he wants your
fucking
help
door.
dealing with the bots and opening the door, and he wants you to save his sorry self.
I'm not worthy.
Says, is this the net man?
Yes, of sorts.
Is this connected to his door?
Yes, partially. You see the door outlined there, and you see there is a connector underneath the door, not where you're at, above it.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's like a blind man, right? So I like, or just
Have you seen like those
my-
old video games where like not World of Tanks? There's that old tank game that was just like outlines of the objects in the tanks, right? Whereas just like the green lines was the shape of a tank, and that's what you drove around.
Sure.
So it's that's basically what you see is just like blue outlined form that you can kind of tell is Blackstone and Seamus, especially because they have a name tag on them.
Yeah.
But everything is just like an outline, like wireframe construct.
Yeah. You say that it is sort of connected. Can I open it for him?
Oh, I don't think you'll need to. If you look down the hall, and she points, you see a name walking towards your friends.
I think I'm gonna stun the guy in front.
Okay.
That's why I said you can take your time to rest. They should be able to handle things if they use their resources at hand.
How far does it look like the name?
Oh, he's
is
about
away?
to turn the corner to see them. So, 15 seconds.
You're gonna be next to me. How fast? No one's
And it looks like I'm in the room above them.
Yeah, it's like you're in the ceiling. So basically like you put no clip on and slip through the ceiling.
No.
And you
clip.
see in the vent a person as well that you know.
Okay.
And it's all wireframe.
So Zid will just sort of tweak his hand, and what he wants to happen is the panel that Blackstone is currently looking at, he wants it to light up for a second and point in the direction where the guy is coming from.
Roll an interface.
Roll an interface.
Mhm.
Alright. Interface. Roll interface. Bam. 10.
So Blackstone. You see a hand appear in front of you and like poke you in the eye.
And I'm like blinking my eyes really fast, like.
But there's nothing there. It was just like, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
no one did it. You don't feel anything, but if
The fuck?
it looked like someone poked you in the eye.
Mm-hmm.
Blackstone, are you all right? Jameis, Doc.
Thinking it's changed as well.
Did you see that? Because I saw something.
Jameis, you saw nothing. Doc saw nothing. But you guys do hear someone behind you.
I turn around.
I'm hearing things, but I'm not seeing them. Yeah, Seamus turns around too.
You see someone who you contacted earlier on for resources. In exchange for resources, wearing a white suit similar to yours.
Is this Nadix?
No. You used to call him FaZe, but apparently that's not his actual name.
My.
Welcome,
You
gentlemen.
don't say.
Would you like
Howdy,
to
old friend.
step inside? I hear you've botched things up royally. And like kind of like glares at you all.
I think things are going exactly according to plan. Maybe not plan A.
Is
Well,
it around
plan.
Plan Z?
I mean, that would involve more explosions, but it's probably pretty close.
Okay, so X, Y, one of those two.
I mean, we
Give or
should,
take
probably,
a couple of letters.
we should probably ask our
Yeah.
friend Zid when he gets here.
Zid's dead. Well, half dead.
Not if I can help it. We need in that room. Doc, it's almost your turn.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people in that room. And I can go in there, but they're authorized to not allow anyone else in there. So how do you want to deal with them?
Oh. You know, Blackstone, we never thought that we'd find any resistance when we came through here. That's a good thing. I wish we would have brought, like, armor and weapons.
I mean, you got you got all these bags back here on the docks carrying.
Oh, I'm just making sure you're ready. It's you remember where you got me out of?
Yeah, security.
Yeah, they probably got those guys here. So I just want to make sure you're ready before things start.
Seamus, start. You know the golf clap where it starts real slow and starts to pick up, like the slow clap. Seamus does the slow laugh. He starts to laugh, like chuckle, and just starts like it gradually gets louder and more boisterous.
Yeah.
And he's got his assault rifle back from Blackstone at this point, and he just like jacks a shell into the chamber. Sounds like I might get to cut some arms off myself now.
All right. Like I said.
So I'm gonna ask FaZe, like, so what's your interest?
Getting out of here.
Okay, all right, good. So our interests align.
That's always been my goal.
Okay, let's do it.
You don't think I've worked for 60 years to not try to get out of here, do you?
60 years is a long time. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Only been here a few months.
Why do you think I'm asking you why you botch stuff up so crazy?
I mean, must have worked really hard to get up to white.
More than you know.
Anyway, let's get started.
All
My
right.
ship back.
He opens the door. and gestures. Would you care to enter?
Doc.
All right. Let me see if I can find a decent map on the fly, because
I don't know if we should send Doc first.
I mean,
yeah, let
Well,
Doc
we're
die
at-
first. It's all right.
10:30. 1, 2. So we're at 3 hours.
Yeah, we have a little bit more. About 30 minutes.
Do
Yeah,
we-
we got like another half hour.
Well,
At least figured we should set it up.
Mhm.
But what were we saying, Matt? I'm open to
well,
suggestions.
do we have to do it today? Like,
No.
if you've just got to like sort out the map and stuff.
I mean, I'm happy waiting. I don't mind.
I just, like I said, I was not expecting you guys to all of a sudden make a mad sprint towards the end of the chapter.
We also weren't expecting Zid to like just pop the virus.
Right? So,
It's-
you know.
I'm really happy that you did. Honestly, I'm happy.
Oh no, it's
Um,
fine, and that's
I'm-
why when you guys asked, you know, do I have a set number of sessions for the first chapter? It's like, no, I see it being between, you know,
What number
I'm
are we on?
guesstimating between 20 25 or 20 to 30 for each chapter, basically, right?
Okay.
Chapter 1, I more saw probably going 20 to 25,
Yeah.
but 20 to 30, I kind of figured was the number of sessions per chapter, based on how quick you guys, you know, push through and stuff, and how much you take your time and enjoy it, you know. Both are completely optional and great. I just, with where we left off last time, and the focus on trying to build the map I was doing, I wasn't expecting a mad dash sprint like this to
Yeah.
towards completion and, you know, getting out. So I wasn't quite ready for that mad dash.
Yeah.
Well, again, we don't have to do the mad dash. Like,
True.
so yeah, like the guys are responding to situation that they only have, that their characters only have certain amount of information
Right.
about it. So
I mean, I'm perfectly fine with potentially ending early if you guys want to, and like in order to prepare for this and come back later, and like that way we can come back prepared for this, you know, next week or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm flexible on that too.
That's where I stand, because especially if it's going to be the finale of the chapter, I personally would prefer it to be like do justice to the finale and not just be something we have to throw together
Oh, yeah.
in,
Yeah.
No,
in 30 minutes and try to rush through.
Yeah, I wouldn't rush through
Yeah.
it. It was more that
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting you guys to head for the bodies and everything yet. I thought that'd be next session or two.
it's okay.
But, you know, things had fun and accelerated. It's all good. It's all good.
That's what happens when you double crit.
Yeah, right?
Apparently,
Well, I figured I should give him something good for a double crit, right? It's one thing if you crit and get, you know, a really good score. It's another thing when you're like crit. Just like when you know, crit fail, I'm probably going to be like, so, you got the worst result possible. Let's have some fun.
yeah, well, you know, none of this, any of us knew going
Oh,
forward.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we're just dealing with.
How are you guys liking it, though? We can
Whatever
at
it
least
is.
wrap
I
up with
mean,
that.
it's cool. I I don't like what the character chose, and I don't necessarily. But
I don't like that my character's half dead.
no, but you know, this is
Shit
games,
happens.
and I'm enjoying games.
Yeah.
Well, the bonus is it wasn't your actual body, so that's a pro. That's why you're only half dead right now.
Sure. Let's look at the plus side.
So we'll see what they do. And I mean, Are you guys planning on trying to release everyone, or just yourselves, or what are your plans? Like,
I mean,
we can do basically a shift over into basically just debrief sort of thing, and prep for the next session.
so there is part of me that wants to do like a mass release. Like shut all the bots down. Open all the, like, I don't know, like, not like destroy the stasis pods, but like free people from the pods. And
Okay.
yeah, like that seems like the 100% good ending, quote unquote.
Give people a fighting chance, kind of thing.
Yes.
So Seamus wants to do whatever is going to cause Life Tech the most problems. He does, like, I think it was the last session. It might have been session before last. I kind of like gave the insight to Seamus's thoughts. He doesn't really want to just murder a bunch of people, but he's also wanting to harm Life Tech pretty badly. So he would be all for trying to help release some of these people. I don't know if he's exactly going to give his life to try to release a bunch of people. He would be more inclined to give his life to take some of Life Tech's progress in this experiment, than if need be.
Okay. Releasing the people, you do know some of them volunteered and actually are working with Life Tech, but you know the majority are not. So you know the most damage to Life Tech is uncertain, but you do know some of these are their personnel. However, is it worth condemning all the other innocents so that you can get those handful? There's nearly 1,400 people here. Do you want to kill all of them just to get at Life Tech? Which is, what, 50-ish people, probably. Maybe 100. Or would you rather not and let them go?
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of what Seamus is dealing with. It also depends on, like, what it's going to take to release these people. Because, like, if we have to go to every pod, you know, and, like, wake this person up and unhook them and pull them out, like, it's going to be hard enough to get us 4 out versus 1,400 people.
Well, some of that will be on dox rolls.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, Seamus's intent is not to go through and, like, just kill a bunch of people to hurt Life Tech. Like, what I mean by possibly killing a bunch of these people to hurt Life Tech is, like, trying to cause some type of meltdown in this facility to basically destroy the functionality of this facility and the technology that's here.
I think
You know,
probably
he's not
did
just
a
going to go
pretty
through
good messing with it, given that it's
he's
not itself.
Yeah. He's not just planning on, like, going through and killing everyone in these pods and leaving everything intact so they can just pull more bodies and put more people into these. Like, that's where he's at.
Okay. So you'd like to release everyone if possible, and disable or destroy the tanks, and you want to get out. Does that sound summary? Okay. What about Blackstone and Zid? What's going on in their minds?
I mean, for me, like, if they, I'm gonna be semi-greedy. If there's like any information that's available that can like help me with like point me in a direction for my family, my parents, then I'd like to maybe just pull down a just I don't know, just a terminal and just like grab data and just look at it later.
Okay.
In addition to freeing everybody. You know, since this is the only time we're really gonna have to at this facility.
Mm-hmm.
For Zid. He feels like it's all ended already, like, so I think his priority number one is just get back in his real body if he can, fulfill the promise that he made if he can, help his friends if he can, and the rest of it who he has to throw under the bus beside that, whatever, like, I think there is a part of Zid that wants to, if possible, have people have a chance, but he's definitely not thinking about that. He's definitely not thinking about that. If a chance comes up, then he might think about it then. But his whole being is three things, which is those three things that I already said. Get the body, fulfill the promise to this AI, help his friends get out as well. Those three things are all that's on his mind. And whatever happens, maybe something else will come into his mind right now at that point, but not in this moment.
We're good. All right. Well, hopefully your compatriots can get your body stabilized and woken up and get you back in it. That is the goal. And we'll see what comes of it. That is, at least Doc didn't try to get himself killed by trying to will himself into his body, right?
Oh yeah. True that.
That's funny. You guys were like, Doc, you're gonna kill yourself, you're bleeding. Yeah, I just gotta try harder.
Oh, Doc.
You find the paperwork. So, we found out that it's possible, but doing so usually winds the person's termination. Oh, see, it is possible. I should try it some more. No, Doc, they say it will kill you. I'm strong enough, I should try it. It's like,
Yeah, well, it doesn't kill me, only makes me stronger.
That's very Doc.
yep. And that's why I said, like, he would definitely be the one to, like, grab some body bags to load up with your gear, because that's what he could find. And when you tell him to open the door with the guy, just...
Well, that was the quickest way to kill the guy. Just...
I mean, you didn't specify. Doc has,
Go for it.
Misspecifications before.
Mm-hmm. Not the sharpest tool in the shed.
Oh, well, I tried to run him the way Raven has, right? Because it is his character.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I hope I do it justice, based on what I've seen him say and do, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's crazy. So I am thinking we will do, even if we complete next session, the one after that we'll still have, even when you guys get out, we'll have one more session of basically wrap up in thoughts and everything like that.
Like an epilogue.
Yeah.
Yep.
Basically check in with all the characters, how they're feeling with the craziness behind them and the craziness in front of them, and, you know, check in with the players, what you guys thought. Basically, kind of a debrief, and then we'll take a short break. So I have some time to try to pull everything together for the next chapter. And then we'll pick up and start running. Sound good to everyone?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You guys have made this an awesome campaign, though. Thank you.
I appreciate
So far,
it.
it has been crazy. There's been plenty of things I didn't think of or didn't expect. And I like it. I do like it.
You're welcome.
Well, that's what one thing I always find funny with, like, some things I hear people mention on certain game systems where they're like, oh, well, the DM can outthink everyone. It's like, no, they can't. They're one person. And I guarantee you, they're not as crazy as however many players there are. And that's why I've tried to lean into allowing you guys more freedom for the narration and stuff, is because more thinking, more minds, more creativity.
Yeah.
And I love that we've made a pretty crazy thing of it. I am glad you guys caught the references that I kind of made in it without me saying it beforehand. That was fun. So, but yeah, we'll pick up here next Saturday, as you guys have just burst in this door. There's going to be rounds flying pretty rapidly.
Shoot out at the OK Corral.
Pretty much. I mean, you guys basically told him, yeah, no, we're good. Just open the door. We're going to go in guns blazing. So that's what's happening. Zid, since you're kind of incorporeal right now, do you want to run Doc next session?
We'll see if Raven shows up, but
Well, I was meaning if he doesn't, of course. If he does, absolutely let him. But
yeah,
Okay.
Whatever works.
And yeah, we'll see how you guys do on releasing the bodies and getting out of here, because releasing the bodies is step 1. Getting out of the complex is step 2. And depending on how long it takes you, you know there is some ziggurat
Yeah.
mercenaries inbound.
Yeah. It sounds like fun.
I mean, Zid's an employee, so it should be fine, right?
Right. Yeah,
yeah,
they
no,
totally
no.
value their employees.
He's not an employee, though.
He's an indentured servant.
He's an asset.
I was gonna
It's
say
the
he's
same
It's-
thing.
he's like an independent contractor.
Yeah, more like an independent contractor.
Corporations would not kill people that work for them, right? That's all I'm saying.
Of course
I don't know
not.
any
Hurdle.
corporations you work for.
Ooh.
None of the ones in Cyberpunk.
Uh-uh.
Actually, there is a splinter group from Arasaka that is a all-female group of mercenaries,
Yes.
and they're crazy.
Alright.
Like straight up crazy terms. But we'll pick up there next time. Thank you all for being here. I know it's a little shorter than usual, but want to get a proper map done and let them have proper stomp out of the complex. So be sure to tune in next Saturday for that crazy episode. It may be the last one, may not. We'll wait and see. And then, of course, chapters to follow. We'll see you guys next time. Enjoy the story. Thank you guys for the amazing story.